here and follow not just Senator Rosen, who so ably leads this subcommittee, but also Senator Blunt. Um, just a little bit on my home state right now. We are home to exceptional travel destinations from Lake Superior to the Mall of America. But even Minnesota is missed out on nearly $12 billion in travel spending since 2019. And we know behind those numbers are thousands and thousands of workers. So that's one of the reasons Senator Blunt and I worked so hard on the Restoring Brand USA Act, which was signed into law in March, and why we worked, all of us did, during the pandemic on funding for tourism. So my first question is about Brand USA. Ms. Barnes, you noted in your testimony by the end of last year, international inbound travel spending was still down 78%. Brand USA, as we know, has been very successful and has added, I think, something over 50 billion to our economy since 2013, supported more jobs. Can you speak to how Restoring Brand USA will continue to support our national economy?
Yes, thank you for the question, and thank you as well, Senator, for your tremendous leadership on Brand USA, not only working with Senator Blunt on the reauthorization, but this emergency funding that's been so important for our economy. Brand USA historically has a return on investment of 25 to 1, which is really, really significant and highlights very much the impact it has on the economy. Without Brand USA, we would be far less competitive because, as you note, we are the only, as you know, we are the only G20 country that doesn't have a tourism minister, and one of the reasons we need to have an assistant secretary dedicated to that. But Brand USA acts as an ambassador to go out and bring those international visitors here to the U.S., and that incremental benefit is really important. And I will just underscore with this as well, if we could eliminate the pre-departure testing, as I just noted, coupling that with Brand USA right now, again, if we eliminate pre-departure testing in June, in this month, we can add an additional 5.4 million visitors and $9 billion in travel spending. So adding
And
that
how
to
about one other thing, long visa wait times in some of the biggest markets for international travel to the U.S. I remember when we did this long ago with took this on, some with Brand USA, some with the remote capabilities, but I'm looking at places like 702-day wait out of certain parts of Mexico, 354 days Brazil, 643 days Colombia, just to give you a sense.
We really need to push the State Department. I mean, they've done it before in an average of 12 days, and they can do that again. Right now, the average wait time across the countries is over 400 days. And in 2019, 43% of the $79 billion in spending that came into the U.S. internationally, those came from countries that required a visa. So we have to get those wait times down. It is a de facto border closure.
Exactly. I still remember when Tom Nides, who's now the ambassador to Israel, was #2 in the State Department, and I had given them these facts and all of this numbers that we'd gotten together, Senator Rosen. And one morning at like 7 a.m., he called me on my cell phone, and he's like, "Oh my God!" Like he'd finally looked at it and saw those weights. So I do think we have to push this because it's an economic issue, as is something that was raised and is related, which is the workforce shortage. Ms. Neufung, in your testimony, you mentioned that staffing shortages are one of the biggest problems facing business travel, important in my state. What more can we do on the workforce?
Thank you for that question, Senator Klobuchar. Certainly what we've seen is between 67 and 68% of all suppliers are having difficulty hiring enough staff. And that is disruptive for our business travelers at the basics when there's nobody to check them in, either in an airport or at a hotel. And it's also indicative that in some ways they're competing for the same workforce, which isn't fair to any of the great suppliers in our industry. So what we need are really long-term solutions for the way to fill the pipeline, is the way that we say it within a product environment, that we need to fill the pipeline with the kind of workers that can grow into our industry. And often that means they may be immigrants, they may be others that may need visas, but they may be here in another way. And we need to excite those who've left the industry to come back at a time when it felt like it was on shaky ground. And certainly what we know from government assistance is that there was a lot of great support for suppliers in our industry, that shaky ground didn't last forever. And now we need to bring those same workers back and excite them about this great industry that offers so much talent.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I would like to ask Mr. Katia a question, but I'll put it in writing. And I just want to mention, as you know, Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport, one of the best in the country over and over again. Yours is pretty good too. But that workforce shortage we all just talked about, it's a problem for everyone, and that's why I strongly support some comprehensive immigration reform. I don't think there's another way to get around it when I have a unemployment rate in my state of 2.5%. And I was at the airport with my daughter on Friday night for 2.5 hours changing her flight. So let's just say I know from personal experience of the lines, and it is a lot of workforce issues in addition to some other ones with the airlines right now. But I will let that go, and I want to thank you all and look forward to working with you on solutions. And I see Senator Blackburn is there. I saw her face waiting in the line here. So thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Senator Klobuchar. I would like to recognize remotely Senator Blackburn.